The age-old question, what can Martin beat? Today, I've taken a break from making my game and have made a chess bot, BilboFish. I'm going to show you how I made it and we're going to see if it can beat Martin. I've tried to make a chess bot before, but I always found it too hard because I had to add the logic of chess into it. But I found this video which shows a Python chess module. Now using this module, there's a bunch of functions and you can set up a chessboard. This means it's much easier to understand the logic, and instead of making the computer understand chess, all I have to do is get it to pick the best move. In short, how the bot works is it goes through every possible legal move it can make and gives it a set of points, then just chooses the one with the highest score and plays it. Now my bot only has a depth of 1 and for some rules has a depth of 2, which basically means it looks at the board as it is. It doesn't look into the future, sort of like if I could move here, then you could move there and I can take. You may not realise this, but when you're playing chess, you look multiple moves into the future. If I wanted the bot to beat harder opponents, then I would have to make it look multiple moves into the future. This is where the difficulty comes in making a chess bot. I didn't do this because it was a bit too difficult, meaning the bot only looks at the board at face value. And now to work on the bot. To do this we need some rules, so let's make some. The first rule I made was a move that likes to take pieces. In chess, every piece has a score. The rule works by figuring out which piece it's taking and adding the piece's score to the points for that move. This creates a rule where it likes to take pieces with higher material, like a queen. At the start of chess, or an opening, you normally move your pawns first. So I added another rule, which gives it a small bonus point of 1 every time you move a pawn. This rule is great for openings. Last but not least, I made a rule which incentivizes the bot to play towards the center. I created 2 lists of one with the strict center, which is the very middle 4 squares, and one with a slightly wider square. You get higher points for moves that put your pieces in the strict center, and you get slightly lower points, say like 2, for moves that go in the less strict center. And now, the thing you've all been waiting for, to battle Martin. This is the first game, and depending on if we win or lose, I'll add some more rules and then try again, until we eventually beat it. We lost, quite quickly at that, but this won't be the last time we see Martin. Now, it's time for some more rules. We're going to do this until we beat him. The next rule I made was a check rule. If we can put Martin in check, then we get a small bonus points, like 5. Very simple, but it's very useful. Next, I made a checkmate rule. If at any point we can put Martin in checkmate, it plays it. It does this by just giving the move a very large number of points. And the last rule we'll make is a rule that stops the king moving as much. I had to run the game before multiple times as I made a few mistakes, and a lot of the time I saw the king moving too much when it probably should move other pieces. So I gave the move some minus points whenever it moved the king. For example, just moving the king to e2. That would lose 1 point to that move. And now to try and beat Martin for the second time. We may have lost that game, but we put up a good fight. We played for much longer than last time. Hopefully, this will be the last time we add some rules. So these will be the final 2 rules, hopefully, that we make. First, I made a rule which stops BilboFish from hanging its pieces. When moving to any square, it will check to see if it can be taken. If it can be taken, then it loses the materials points. If I hang my queen, then I will lose 9 points for that move. If I hang my bishop, I'll lose 3, for example. Now for one of the most important rules. Over the last few games, I've realised that BilboFish doesn't really like moving anything other than its pawns and its queen. Maybe its king. So, I added another rule, which gives a lot of points when it moves a piece off of its starting square. Less points for pawns, a lot less points for pawns, as it already has extra points when you just move a pawn. But you get lots of points when putting a knight, bishop, or rook off of its starting square. And you also get points when moving a pawn 2 on its starting go. We won! Thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry we didn't do a devlog, but I wanted a bit of a break. If you want, comment down below and tell me if you want to see more of this and if we can get it to beat harder opponents. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.